Hey, what's up, friends? So we're finally here, the Europa League final, and this is my preview of said game. So the final this year is going to be between Chelsea and Arsenal, and this year's Europa League final will be played in Baku, Azerbaijan. And this is the 48th final of the UEFA's second European club tournament. Number one obviously is the Champions League. And this tournament was previously known as the UEFA Cup, but they changed the name there to Europa League 10 years ago. And if Arsenal wins, they will enter the group stage of the 1920 UEFA Champions League, since Chelsea has already qualified for the tournament. So let's look a little bit closer on how both teams got to the final. So Chelsea played in a group with PAOK and Molvidi and Bate Borisov. So Chelsea started off with an away game against PAOK, 1-0 win. Then played Molvidi at home, also win 1-0. Then Bate Borisov first at home, 3-1 win, and then away, 1-0 win. Then against PAOK, 4-0 at home. Then a draw against Molvidi, 2-2 at Molvidi. So Chelsea finished first in the group on 16 points, which meant that they got to play Malmö FF from Sweden. So first leg started away with a win, 2-1, and the one at home, 3-0, which gave us an aggregate of 5-1. And then next stage they played against Dynamo Kiev. They started off at home with a win, 3-0, and then a 5-0 win away, which gave us a total of 8-0. So a pretty convincing victory for Chelsea. And then they played against Slavia Prague, and they started away with a 1-0 win, and then a 4-3 win at home, and they gave us a total of 5-3 to Chelsea. So in the semi-final, they played against Eintracht Frankfurt from Germany, and they started an away game, a draw, 1-1, and the same result at home, which gave us a total aggregate of 2-2. So the game continued on, and they had to be decided on penalty shootouts, which Chelsea won in the end, 4-3. So that's the way how they got all the way to the final. So they had a pretty smooth ride all the way to the semi-final against Eintracht Frankfurt. But I managed to win on penalties, and here they are in the final. Now, Arsenal. They played in a group with Vorskla Poltava, Karabag, and Sporting. So they started at home with a win against Vorskla Poltava with 4-2. Then an away game against Karabag, 3-0. Then an away game against Sporting, a win, 1-0. And then they played Sporting again at home. This time they drew in a scoreless game. And then they played Vorskla Poltava away, convincing 3-0 victory. And then they finished at home against Karabag with a 1-0 win. So they also finished first in the group on 16 points, which meant that they got to play Bate Borisov in the next round. And they started away with a win. A loss actually, 1-0. And then the one at home, 3-0. So a total aggregate of 3-1. In the next round, they played against Rennes, and they started away with a loss, 1-3. So it was it's a pretty tough loss, but they managed to get themselves together and win at home, 3-0. so total aggregate of 4-3. And then they played against Napoli, and they started home with a convincing 2-0 win, and then they won away 1-0, so total aggregate of 3-0. And then in the semi-final they played against Valencia, so they started away with a win 3-1, and then they finished off at home with a 4-2 win, so a total aggregate of 7-3. So they had their toughest game in the beginning of the knockout stage, and then they had a bit better results in the last 2 games. So that's how they made it to the final. Top scorers for Chelsea, Olivier Giroud on 10 goals. He's also the top scorer of the tournament, and we will see if he starts tonight. Funny enough, he might be starting on the bench, and you know, it's hard to be the top scorer but still have to start on the bench. We'll see. The preliminary startups, the lineups, starting lineups have what's his name? Yeah, so Higuain might start instead, but most likely Giroud will start. I mean, 10 goals, that's pretty good. And then we have Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi and Pedro on 4 goals. Unfortunately, both Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi are out for this tournament, this game. And then we have Willian on 7 assists, but he is also predicted to start on the bench. And for Arsenal, Aubameyang, 8 goals. Like I said, 5 goals. And then they have Welbeck, Smith Rowe and Ramsey on 2 goals. Unfortunately for Arsenal, Aaron Ramsey is predicted to miss this game. That's a huge blow for Arsenal, but they still have pretty good firepower up top, and obviously then Henrik Mkhitaryan is not gonna play in the finals, as I have talked about before. So Chelsea have scored 32 goals in total in this tournament, and Arsenal has scored 29 goals. So it's pretty even there as well. Now for the predicted starting lineups for Chelsea, we have Kepa, Arrizabalaga in goal. Then 4-3-3 for Chelsea with Azpilicueta, Christensen, David Luiz and Emerson. And on the midfield, Jorginho, Ross Barkley and Mateo Kovacic. And the top 3 there most likely will be Pedro, Giroud and Hazard. Hazard is expected to be back, and yeah, he will be 100% to go. And then for Arsenal, we have in goal Peter Cech. Then 4 in the back with Kolasinac, Koscielny, Monreal and Socrates. And then 2 sitting midfielders, Xhaka and Torreira. And then more of a floating 3 midfielders there, Aubameyang, Özil and Maitland-Niles. And up top, Lacazette. So there you have the starting lineups. Now, both teams have 1 final appearance each. Arsenal in 2000 and Chelsea in 2013. Arsenal lost their final on penalties to Galatasaray, while Chelsea won theirs after a 2-win over Benfica. So they have 1 final appearance each, but Chelsea is the one who actually came out on top of their final. So previous games this year in the league, Chelsea defeated Arsenal 3-2, and then Arsenal actually won the second game 2-0. So they have one game apiece here. So there you have it, and I'm really curious to see if Arsenal's offense can beat Chelsea's defense. And also this might be the last game for Eden Hazard in Chelsea, and might also be the last game for Maurizio Sarri. We'll see what happens after this final. I think a lot of his future depends on the result in this game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the final, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.